Hello, the game has started. It's me to go fast. This is a pretty awful rack. I can't play the queue. Can I get a good enough score that justifies playing rather than exchanging? I don't think I can. I could play cop for 18, but QDFG is a pretty ropey rackly, so I'm going to change. And well, there may be an argument for retaining the D, but I think it's a fine decision. That's a little bit better. I have a scoring tile in the Z. It's a long way from a bingo. Through a D, I would have 10 dens, which takes an EN extension. Through an R, I would have nerds. Zen isn't good. 10 zon through an O. So quite a few possibilities, but in addition to playing the Z for score, I also want to sort out the duplicates, so I'll certainly be looking to play off one of the N's and one of the E's. I'm not too worried about retaining 2 E's, but I would prefer not to retain 3. Now, I've just come off a flight from Singapore, where I've been at the Causeway Challenge, which was a fantastic tournament. Now, great start for my opponent, a bingo. He has provided a D, but 10 dens doesn't hit the double word squares. No vowels next to premium squares, so I can't maximize value from the Z. Now, can I get my Z on one of these triple letter squares? Well, before I go there, let me note that I can play entree, and I think that achieves everything I'm looking for. So 30 points. It certainly sorts out all the duplicates. It doesn't leave anything massively dangerous. Entree doesn't take an extension. The Z isn't next to a premium square of any use. The triple letter square, not a particularly big deal. So I think this is the play. And I can't think of any parallel plays which would be better because I hadn't really identified any on my rack. Nerds does play in this spot, but is inferior. Well, more E's. Sometimes you can go a whole game and only see a few of them. But I seem to be swamped. Hopefully my opponent is not being so. However, it didn't stop him from bingoing on his opening turn. Now again, I'm faced with the issue of resolving duplicates. Wow, I picked up 3 E's in that pick. 31 for my opponent. Naive is good. So I could play that down from A12. Quite an open move. Can I play parallel to OXO? Well, I don't have anything which goes next to ZO. My I can go next to the X. Can't see anything great there. OXO doesn't extend. Naive feels massively open, but I'm behind, which is an argument in favour of it, but it's not conclusive. By that I mean there may be another play which isn't so volatile. There's certainly no need for any desperation plays at this point. I'm only 70 behind. Now I could play venue in column 6. Well, that's fewer points. Now is there a play with the V getting doubled? Don't think so. Zo takes a D and an A in front. I have neither. Any parallel play to unitard would really shut the board down. And I don't think there is such a play. Only my N can go by the U. So the best I could come up with is Vine, but that retains 3 E's. So I think I am going to go with this volatile play. 20 points. A little bit better, onto a T. I would have Gemmiest, and the T of unitard is available. That may be blocked if my opponent plays across row A. I don't think there's any anagrams of Gemmiest. Now, My ing can go through the N to make ing. I can't see a play there. Row B is quite hot for a high-scoring tile on this triple letter square through the eye of naive. That would also block gemmiest, almost certainly. I can't see any alternative bingos here. I've got the ism suffix and the mis prefix. So what to do if my bingo is blocked? Again, I have nothing which goes after ZO, well, apart from the S, but I doubt that that's going to be worth playing. G and M lack synergy a little bit, and double M not good, so I would be looking to play off one of the M's. A play of gem keeping EIMS would be good. I've got the semi-prefix. I can't see anywhere good for gem. Oh, now there's another T. Does gemmiest play across row G? It doesn't. SA is not good. There's also the floating N of entree. I think naive takes an S, or it does take an S. I don't think it takes anything else. My opponent taking a while. Both got 16 minutes on our clocks. Gemmiest is blocked. But fortunately, only 9 points for my opponent. That's encouraging. I'm only 60 points behind, and I'm on turn. Bronk takes an O and an S after it. Now, I hadn't identified anywhere any alternative play to my bingo, so I now need to do that. And I am struggling. Now, what about through the E of naive? My opponent's taken out this useful triple letter square under the R of Bronk. I can't extend Bronk to the triple or prefix it with anything. G and M can go in front of double E. So I could play gem and me. That's not bad. It's not taking out any bingo lanes, and it's providing a couple of useful floaters. The bad thing about the play is the ropey score. And I could play gem across the top of unitard, but that's really is taking out a lot of floaters without providing anything new. 17 points. Gem here. 11. It's not a great play. The score is, it just doesn't feel a very good score at all, because it isn't a very good score. How can I, and you would normally think with tiles like the M that you can be north of 20, but I just can't see any good spots for the M. Unitard hasn't really provided access to premium squares. Close to gummiest. Now unitard takes an S, but I just can't see a way of scoring enough to justify burning the S. The S is worth about 8 to 10 points. And, well, I can't see a way of getting 20 to 30 with it. Well, I'm going with this. Now, I think minis is good. Does that play? Okay, nice extension by my opponent, 33 points. This looks like there could be something here. Well, minis doesn't play parallel to unitard or parallel to OXO. Does it play through the N or the T? Or do I have an 8-letter play through either of those? N unlikely, that would be 3 N's. Can't see anything through the T. Now, what about an ing ending word? Well, again, can't see anything there. Now, what about meninges? That would work through a G, but it's blocked by the E of naive. Okay, so annoyingly, I can't see a bingo. Only my S goes next to these to ZO. But even if I had a play down here, well, I do. I have sign. Let me see what this scores. It burns all of my best tiles. 31 points. Rack leave. Okay. It's opening bingo lanes in a part of the board where it's opening a bingo lane in a part of the board where there wasn't any. Not a great rack lead, but I am retaining the IM, which goes well with the G. It's good to keep scoring. But can I do better? I can't play parallel to Broncos because I don't have an H for going under the C. The V prevents parallel plays to naive. So this doesn't feel like a great play again. I hope I'm not missing a bingo here. Well, I'm going with this. More duplicate tiles, but not really surprising. There are quite a lot of I's and N's in the bag, so they are going to crop up on your rack. If it's not those, there could be duplicates of other tiles, so important not to get too annoyed about duplicates. Now, demining is good, I think. Or is it just D minor? I think D mine is not good. D minor is. I think demining is good, so I will play that if I can't see a bingo I'm more sure of. Now I've got the un prefix. Can't see anything with that or through the U. Can't see anything through the T. I do now have a D for going in front of Zoes. So I could play denim down here. That's quite open since I don't have an S for row O and there are still 2 S's and 2 blanks unseen. I could also have a play beginning A-N-D. Now, Indamine is good. What do I need for that to play? I need a floating A. Well, none available at the moment. I guess... Well, look at that. My opponent again blocks my bingo. How annoying. However, only 16 points, so I'm still only a bingo behind. And he's blocked row B for bingos ending in E. I've got the muni prefix with NED. That doesn't really help. So I think I'm back to the Dezos spot. A play of and would sort out the duplicate N, but not the duplicate I, and I really do want to sort out both. So what about dine? 27 points, keeping the M. The alternative would be denim. For quite a lot more. £36 points. I think I'm going to go with the score. If my opponent doesn't have the S, he may try and block this lane for not very much. If he does play in row O, he's likely to be opening row N, and he will be leaving alone the floaters in unitard. Good. I draw the Q with the U. Is there anywhere good for it? I don't have a bingo with this rack. I've got Queen on my rack. I can't get the Q tripled in column 6. Now my Q. Great, my opponent's left row O alone. What can I do with my Q? Chin is good. IM isn't. Signed is good. Through a G, I would have Gu Chin. I could play Chin onto the N, but then I'm retaining the U, which I'd rather get rid of. Now, what about playing Queen here? And one useful thing about this is that I'm retaining an I, which can go underneath the Q. There are only 3 I's out there. I'm sort of opening up the board a bit, although floating Q and U not particularly useful. Rack lead not great, but I don't think I can play off the H with the Q. And although there are spots for the Q without the U, I don't want to retain the U. It's inhibiting my bonus bingo prospects, and I'm still pretty much a bingo behind. Queen, 25 points. Is that the best I can do? Quid also good. I can't. Now, Quiney's good. Quiney's good. 30 points. 5 more points. I think that's got to be worth doing. I am destroying this E floater, but it's only a floater in last place. And rows G and I are fairly useful for 7-letter bingos, and Quinn was destroying that. 30 points. Yeah, that takes me to 158, so I'm clawing my way back to my opponent without needing a bingo, which is one way of doing it, as opposed to point sacrifices for better rack leaves. Yeah, I think I'm going with this. Wow, only 7 minutes on my clock and 40 tiles left. Including 2 blanks. I don't know where the time has gone because my opponent's used up quite a bit of time. I need to speed up. Strange rack here. I don't have a bingo that I can see. My opponent does. 86 points. So I'm in trouble now. I'm 110 points behind with a rack which isn't close to a bingo. And I've only got 7 minutes on my clock. I don't have an eye for going underneath the Q. So what I'm going to struggle to do here is to score. I want to play off the U. Probably play off the O as well. So where can I do that? Only 6 minutes on my clock, 29 tiles left. Well, I can play Horde across here. It doesn't feel a great play. It does sort the rack out. It does score okay. It's not killing bingo lanes. And I am short of time and I can't see anywhere obvious for the H to score well where I can get rid of the U as well. I have the J, a scoring tile, and the K. I would have Jock Teleg through a T and a G in the right spots. That's not likely to happen. Now I can play JO across the top of Horde, which is quite handy. 28 points for my opponent. He's scoring well. So Joe is what I've seen. Keeping the K. 23 tiles in the bag, 5 minutes on my clock. Nothing goes in front of DI. So let me see what this scores. 39 points. If I played JO at 01. It would be fewer points. Yeah, I think this is a decent score, and I want to only play off a few tiles if I can, because I'm so far behind, to maximise the number of goes that I have. Just wondering about a play in column 7, JO something, but I don't think that would score much more. And CK has synergy. Again, a long way from a bingo. So, what to do? My K can go in front of the I. So I've got Ked, Chi and M, which will be pretty good in the sense that I'm retaining CH, which has synergy, and it would be a balanced rack. Wow, look at that score for my opponent, 37 points. He's doing pretty well. So Ked for 28 is what I've seen. This is a fairly balanced rack lead, especially with this S tile in column 15. My opponent could be closing down bingo lanes, and he hasn't, so there is still some sliver of hope. Am I missing a better spot for my K? I'm not going to score more for it at 01. 4 minutes on my clock. Yep, I'm going with this. Still both blanks unseen. Now look at the vowel situation. 8 out of 23. So it's a fairly consonant-heavy bag. Now I have shoelace. Fantastic. Down from the S. And that stays available. Here we go. Shoelace, 92. Before I rush into playing this, is there anywhere sensible I can look? And is Flagger good? Yeah, I think it is. Flagger. Is Flagger good? I think it is. Shoelace, 92. I don't think there's anything better. 13 tiles in the bag. Still no blank. Where are the blanks? How annoying. And if I'd drawn them, one or both, it would have been very interesting, with UVWW acting as a drag on my opponent. As it stands, if they're in the bag, he could well be bingoing. He's not. Only 14 points, 4 tiles in the bag. 3 minutes on my clock. I'm 40 points behind. Are there bingo lanes? There are. There's the bingo lane in row G, and there's also row E, both of which could be taken out. I can't see a way of opening a new one. I need to hope that they remain available, maybe by providing something juicy for my opponent to think about. 4 tiles in the bag. I need to play off 3. So an A certainly, and a Y certainly. Do I need a bingo to win? Not necessarily, but probably. Where can I play my Y and an A? Only 3 minutes on my clock. Well, I can play YA here. It's only 2 tiles, not 3. 20 points, 358, 14 points behind. Only 3 vowels left. My opponent could be struggling if he's only got 1. Is there a way of playing Yap for a much bigger score? Well, I could play Yap in row G, but then I'm taking out a bingo lane, and I want that bingo lane to stay available. Can I open a new bingo lane? Not with this ladder down here. And anything I opened up at the top would invite my opponent to block all the bingo lanes, and there are no possible bingo lanes down the bottom. So I think this is the best I can do, except I could play Yap down here. Let me put this back. 24 points. That's increases my chances of drawing a blank. My opponent could play West for a big score, but that's maybe just the distraction I need, because then I think a bingo would win. I'm going with this. Great, I draw a blank. Hopefully my opponent is distracted and plays something like whist, which won't be enough if I can bingo. But can I bingo? I've got botels and flags. I've got botels and flags in row F. So come on, whist. Whist. 0-12. 42 points. So is there an alternative bingo to botels? Do I have anything in row G? Oblates is the anagram. That doesn't play. None of my tiles... Oh, my O goes in front of U. So let me cycle through the alphabet and see if I can see an alternative bingo. Obstacle through an S. Bloated. And I'm really looking for bingos which play in row G, which either uses the blank or the O in front of the U. Can't see anything there. Great, look at that. Fantastic, I think. Yep, the bag's empty. I'm just going to get this down. Botels and flags for 74, and that is going to be enough. Good night, opponent. Come on. So, just wait for my opponent to end the game. And she does. And the final score, 450 to me, 392 to my opponent, a winning margin of 58 points. So victory dragged from the jaws of defeat. I thought that one was going against me, and it was until right before the end. Let's see what I missed. So it was me to go first. I had this bag of misery. Cop, yeah. Definitely better to change there, I think. My opponent, great start for him with Unitard. Let me just pull up my sound control channel, which I accidentally deleted earlier, so that I can, gosh, hit mute while I cough. Great. So this was my rack, and I played entree. That looks fine. My opponent's rack, he doesn't have anything there. He plays Oxo. Now this is where I struggled. I didn't like my play of naive for 20. 8 more points with Evzone at J9. I didn't see that, and I should have done. That's quite nice, although it does open up column 15 for S endings. But 3 vowels rather than 2. There's quite a bit of difference there, and that will eat up a lot of the 8-point difference, so not much between those plays. My opponent plays Bronc, which blocked my gemmiest bingo. There were no others. And look at the scores on offer here, pretty low. Now what did I do? I played Gem for not very much. G6. Yeah, I don't like the plays which take out bingo lanes, which a lot of these do. So, yeah, overall, nothing obviously better than Gem. My opponent plays Broncos. Now, did I miss a bingo here? I didn't. Simi was on offer down column 13. Quite nice, but retaining the N. I played Sign for 31 with, I think, a better rack lead. No E, but no duplicates either, and a decent scoring tile, which is a guarantee of, or a better guarantee of scoring. Now my opponent plays Aga, again blocking demining if demining was good. And I played Denim, which I think is fine. My opponent has Fragile through an E, no E available. He plays Flag. And this is my rack. Now, D4 Quiner. I didn't consider that. Quiner for 28. I played Quiney for 30. Well, probably quite helpful to have the eye, especially as it goes under the Q of Quiner. But any such sequence of moves up in the top left then takes out the S ending for bingos in row F. And it's always pretty useful to have such a bingo lane open when you're behind. So I think Quiney's fine. Now, great play by my opponent, Ritards. And this is where I thought the game had really gone against me. I was 110 or 104 points behind, and I had a really, I don't know, gnarly rack, if that's the word. It's just a tricky rack. It's very difficult to sort out in one go. And even if you can sort it out in one go, the rack lever is going to be pretty poor. And I've only got 7 minutes on my clock with 29 tiles left. So I felt that I was looking down or into a bit of a black hole at this point. I couldn't see anything great. And what I did was Hoard, which I played fairly quickly. COL has some synergy, scores okay. I'm not really taking out bingo lanes. So those were the sorts of reasons I was able to play it quite quickly. Nothing obviously better, although Chola, 11 more points, rack lever DU inferior to Cole. Now this was my opponent's rack. He doesn't have a bingo, he plays you. And again, I didn't feel in great shape. I'm 110 behind, and although I've got a nice scoring tile in the J, playing it doesn't leave a bingo rack leave. But I did play it. I played it at M3 for 39, keeping a synergetic if non-bingo rack leave. My opponent plays tip for 37, so he's still 110 ahead. I've still got a non-bingo rack. And I played Ked for 28, and I was really slowing down my tile turnover to keep scoring and to give myself the maximum number of turns in which to have a bingo. I think Ked's the right play there. There was a vowel shortage, and certainly was one on my opponent's rack. He plays ref, and Flagger was good. And this is where the game turned. I'm 110 points behind, as I have been for several moves. It doesn't look a great rack, but it does go with the S. So I have Shoelace for 92. So delighted to have spotted that. My opponent did have this grimsome foursome of UVWW. And he plays off 2 of them. But at this point, he's only 40 points behind, and there are bingo lanes on this board. However, he is ahead. I mean, I wonder if Juve was the play here, because it doesn't block anything. It just sorts his own rack out. Maybe a play of Vug, or even a play of Viz in row F would have just destroyed every bingo lane on the board. So I think my opponent could perhaps have done better at that point. Anyway, he didn't. He didn't take out these bingo lanes. This was my rack. And I played Yap at L14, and I like that. I did consider Yar at 01, and although you can argue about the merits of the 2 rack leaves, the advantage, or one big advantage of playing off 3 tiles rather than 2, is that you're 50% more likely to draw one of the blanks, which is going to massively impact your bingo prospects. So I like Yap, and also the distraction value was helpful. Yar has no distraction value. It opens up nothing for my opponent. Yap does. Now this is my opponent's rack, and he takes the bait, and he plays in the bottom left, and that leaves Botels for me. And wow, look at that, there were only 2 bingos. I thought there'd be a lot more. I was short on time, and I knew Botels did the job, so I whacked it down. But in fact, only 2 bingos were available. So, and that was the end of the game. So a pretty exciting game. It's always good to win, and it's particularly nice to win when you're massively behind and you think you're going to lose. And although you feel like you're going through the motions, those motions are the correct motions to always maximize your chances of winning. And although I was down in this game a long way, I wasn't down and out. And I think this game also illustrates the importance of opponent errors in enabling you to win on occasion. I think UVA probably cost my opponent that game. I think the board was so tight that the only way for me to win was likely to be through a bingo, even though I was only 30 or 40 points behind. There weren't high-scoring spots on the board, so I think a priority for him should have been to take out the lanes. Fortunately for me, he didn't, but that frequently happens. Opponents or nobody plays the game perfectly, and that can work to your advantage when it's your opponent who doesn't play the optimal play. Anyway, great first game to have when I'm back from the trip to Causeway. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.